Hey guys, welcome back to Sasha's Corner. So yeah, this is in continuation to the intro video we did a while back, which wasn't basically anything, just an introduction of me to you guys. But as we go along, you guys will see more of, the behind the scenes people. Don't worry about them. You'll see them. They're definitely, there for sure. Okay, so yeah, the last video I kind of gave an intro about, basically I was actively and purposefully making modifications to myself or to my behavior pattern so that I was in a position where I felt like I acted on the world or had the impact on the world that I definitely wanted and I was shooting for. So it wasn't just aimlessly living a life. It was more so selecting the life I wanted and choosing behavioral patterns that basically facilitated that or made it more likely for that life to be something that I would have at some point. So we're talking about a stage in life that I'm at right now personally, creating boundaries. I think creating healthy boundaries for yourself and the people that choose to be a part of your life is vital, because literally most people will do whatever you let them get away with. Literally, people are just, they tend to do whatever you let them get away with. So you really genuinely have to be effortful in how you, basically teach people how to treat you and ensure that they know, what is acceptable and what is not. Because without guidance, we tend to stray as humans. Yeah, just a smidget. So boundaries in anything, and it doesn't mean you're assertive or you're mean-spirited in doing so. It just means, you can sit with your friend and be like, yeah, buddy, I don't appreciate that. So yeah, if that's how, I can't, moving forward, I'd like if that didn't happen anymore. Just small conversations like that, or even more subtle if, you're really good with people and stuff like that. So you really have to control the narrative as far as dealing and interacting with people. Well, I find I have to. If I don't take charge, I tend to feel like I'm just going to throw away the whole friendship. So, boundaries, that's a great one. And sticking to the boundaries you create. Don't go second guessing yourself and say, oh no, maybe, no, maybe nothing. If you were wrong, it's fine. The boundaries you created, they were still perfectly fine, and they're the boundaries you needed to move forward anyways. So if something really bothered you enough for you to go home and it to still be on your mind, it's something that needs to be addressed, and you shouldn't feel any doubts in addressing it. If they're truly your friends or truly people who need to be a part of your journey, they'll still be there regardless, and if they're not, that's okay. You have to also learn to be alone in this life, because 9 times out of 10 you're probably going to be alone for most of it. That sounds very daunting, doesn't it? But honestly, I think it's a truth that a lot of people try to evade and try to fill the silence that comes with life and being on your own as adulthood. Most people who embrace a very independent lifestyle like I do, you tend to find yourself alone more often, and a lot of people, they're not very accepting of that, and so they fill their life with people and people and the people's noise, the noise of people, and the lives that people choose to live. So you don't get a real experience of self and a true awareness of what it is to be alone with yourself, and to just know yourself better independent of all else. So that's basically what I'm shooting for personally. I want to make sure that I'm at peace and I'm 100% comfortable by myself before I start strongly introducing people into my life, or basically incorporating people in my life in a way where they're more almost seemingly permanent decisions about who is a part of my life and who is not. So basically I'm at a stage where I'm almost kind of not really in isolation, but I'm not in a situation where I expect to see people every day or anything, I make arrangements to see people, all the hang out, stuff like that, which I think is pretty normal. But I'm more purposeful with that. So 9 times out of 10 you see me, I should be by myself. Stick to your boundaries. And again, I have reason, no is no, which is again sticking to your boundaries. If you make a decision, stick with it. If you find out that the decision needs to be modified because the information you had when you made the decision has been updated, that's fine too. You can change your mind. You can change your mind about just about anything. The only thing you don't get to change your mind about is dying. You didn't have a say, but it just happened. Hit you like a brick. And recently I've actually been trying to limit my impulsivity, because I'm very impulsive and I'm very spontaneous. I'm all for just doing new things and throwing myself into things head first. And it's a very prominent personality feature of mine. So I'm really making an effort to not being so impulsive, to like, if I made a schedule for how my day is gonna go, I'm going to fight come hell or high water to stick to it. Like if I said I'm gonna, like recently I decided that I'm gonna start working out every day. So it's either first thing in the morning or mid-evening, and regardless, I have to go for my run or I'm gonna work out in my apartment. So yeah, that's something that I'm trying to be more disciplined and controlling how impulsive I am, because we all get strong impulses to do things that we know that may not be in our best interest. And I think a big part of like structuring your life in the way that you want it to be is controlling those impulses and controlling the context in which limiting how much you're in that context where you're gonna get strong impulses to doing things that you should really not be doing because you don't have time, or a plethora of other variables that come into play, right? Okay, so I know I just sped through all of my points basically. Well, this is a short video. I didn't want to overwhelm you guys, right? First video. So yeah, there was a question that I find that comes up for me a lot, because I think most people in their 20s, they tend to be highly uncertain. So people want to know, like, usually, how do you know if you're on the right path? I don't think most people really know. You kind of, I don't know, you have a sense of purpose, or like things happen and people attribute it to like some form of directionality coming from a being outside of oneself, Some people consider it a source. Being highly connected with your source gives you a sense of purpose and a sense of directionality. But I honestly think you don't really know. You just try a bunch of things and eventually you come across, you just do something and it just speaks to you on a different level, and you just know that you're willing to endure a substantial amount of hardship to ensure that whatever it is that you started, you see it to fruition. You just basically, yeah, I think how you know you're on the right direction, it's something that you're willing to really and truly sacrifice for. Like, sacrifice your time, sacrifice your sleep, potentially a meal. You're willing to lose friends, lose people who've been a part of your life for a long time, in pursuit of that thing. And it's something that if you're very self-aware and you spend a lot of time talking to yourself and ensuring that Sasha's okay at all points, you tend to realize, okay, this is the one thing that I'm willing to truly sacrifice for, and I'm going to continue to sacrifice for it because I do feel as though it brings me a immense sense of purpose, as though I am here to do something and I'm actually achieving it. And so I think it has to be something you're willing to something you're willing to go through it for. That's how you know you're basically on the right path. As far as I'm concerned, that's been the guiding feature of my life. Anything that I'm willing to endure extreme hardship for, I know it's something that I really want, and it usually is something that brings me some level of happiness. So yeah, that's what I think. So I kind of just sped through the points. I sped through all the points because we just started videoing again. But we have a guest. We have a guest.
Wait, for true?
For true. She's such a clown. Alright, so this is Christiana, right? She's like one of the most... yeah, very animated.
Formulate your words for your viewers, my friend. Like,
wow. You're almost talking real proper though. Scare me. Who's this? Who are you?
Continue.
So this is Christiana. She came down with me today, and I decided, why not? Let's just do the video together at the end. So she'd come in and we talk. So Christiana, how do you know whether you're on the right path in life and stuff like that?
Well, I don't think, as you said, I don't think you really know if you're on the right path. It's honestly, like, it's for me, the journey that I'm taking is one where I just want to see how far it goes, and if it feels right, and when it doesn't feel right, then don't, like, it's a risk-taking, obstacle overcoming journey.
Yeah.
So it's not that you ever know the right path. You're
just doing something.
You're
praying. Yeah.
And when it feels good, it feels good. When it don't feel good, don't feel good.
So when it don't feel good, what you plan to do?
Try again. Or try a different approach. Like,
Well, that makes sense. That
do
makes
something
sense.
else.
That makes sense. But imagine it's like one of those situations where you're doing something and like you put yourself in like 50 grand worth of debt. You think you could just change paths just like that?
Well, I don't have 50 grand worth of debt, so that's not my question.
Speak for yourself, sis. Real hurt, but you know that. But yeah, I think honestly, life, there's no, I mean, money definitely has like really strong implications on what people do and stuff like that. For sure it does for me. So like, I can imagine how people get stuck in things, and like that's a very human thing. That's definitely a part of the human experience, I believe. So like, I think it's okay to be stuck. It's okay to get like caught up in a part of your life where it's like a real struggle for you to like get back on whatever path you think you're supposed to, or take a minute to just readjust and figure out whether this is the road you're supposed to be going on, or take a minute to see if you can get your vehicle into alignment so you can do a full 360 and get back on the right path. And I mean, if you went the wrong, if you find that your life is gone, you've been moving, and you've been going really fast and getting really far, it doesn't mean necessarily that you're making strides in the right direction. So sometimes the best thing to do is just stop, assess, and see what happens. Because like readjusting, ensuring that you're not just moving, but you're moving in the right direction is vital. It really is. Because yeah, it's vital. Because a lot of people mistake progress for movement or motion. Like you can be going really hard, working your butt off, and then being going in the totally wrong direction and find yourself burnt out at 30. Having achieved nothing meaningful because you were just moving really fast. You were pursuing these things that only had tangible value, but they didn't add any, conscious value as far as like attributing to your personal growth. There was no editing.
Sorry to interrupt.
Sorry.
But so how would I know that I'm taking the wrong direction if it takes till 30 to realize that I having some problems there? Like,
I mean, you get a few hints before 30 though.
Okay.
Like, I mean, let's say you've been working at this job. Like, this happened to a friend of mine. Let's say you've been working at this job for like 5 years. You got into this job straight out of high school. You've been working there. You've been making money. I mean, maybe not a lot of money, as most of us, but you're making money. You're getting stuff done. You're doing your mani pedis. You're buying the nicest fits, and you're looking fly or whatever, right? And there's no sense of purpose. You don't feel like you're contributing to anything. You don't feel like your contribution is substantial. You don't feel like if something happened and you weren't here anymore, it would be a presence that would be missed. Just because you're not contributing to. I think in every person's existence, people that are aware that there's a debt to be paid in us in some sense, just by getting to be here, knowing that not a lot of people get to be here. People, they die prematurely. Things happen. Life is very much, I think a transitional state, and things happen that that like pretty much rob people of the right to be here, essentially. So, like, if you are living a life that doesn't make you feel fulfilled, one, there's no plan for the future really. It doesn't speak to whatever plan you do or do not have for the future, and you just feel empty. And at some point, if whatever it is you're doing, the line of work that you're in, it isn't purposeful, it isn't bringing any meaning to your life, it tends to start feeling like baggage, a burden. And then that feeling of being burdened, it only increases as you go along, because you're realizing there's no real purpose, there's no plan. I'm just here hopelessly doing something just because, for doing something's sake. So like it starts affecting your health, because honestly, like if something is making you truly unhappy, it contributes stress. And everybody knows stress hormones are like toxic to the body. It literally poisons you from the inside out. So your health is gonna deteriorate. Most likely your mental health initially, just by maladaptive. You're gonna start picking up maladaptive traits, and then maladaptive behavior patterns. You're gonna eat awful. You're not gonna exercise or any of those things that are supposed to keep you healthy. Keep the temple that is your body up and running. You're basically it's gonna diminish, and then your mental health is also gonna deteriorate because you become depressed, anxious, all these things that happen when your life lacks purpose, or things that really bring you fulfillment. So I think you definitely get signals. Like I think some people make an effort to ignore the signals, but like you definitely get a message from the universe or whatever it is that you're on the wrong path. But yeah, so yeah, we'll definitely be doing another video at some point. Hopefully this one was great. We gotta edit and do all kind of stuff to get it right. But yeah, that's the end of this video.